Lights, camera, action.
This year, the roads froze over. Our family called and canceled. I was putting up the lights, and some kids pushed over the ladder. I fell and broke my neck, and the doctors called in sick. I didn't get any help. I'm permanently disfigured.
That was the greatest night in the history of television.
Welcome back to Redband Podcast. The song that you just heard in the intro, that is from a fellow listener, a friend of the pod, goes by Deadbird.
Yeah.
That was just a little sneak preview. We'll play the full song at the later on in the episode, so be sure to stay tuned for that. But today, on the screen here, that's what we're talking about.
Violent Night.
Violent Night.
New film.
Starring Stranger Things.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
I had a slight panic attack because I was gonna say, like, I don't remember how to say his name.
Yeah.
But in this, and culturally speaking, why even say his name when you could just call him Stranger Things?
Yeah. Because we did that before with somebody.
So many people, honestly.
It was the song. You were like that Running Up the Hill song.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, anyone, I'm trying to think of some other examples. I mean, Millie Bobby Brown is also Stranger Things. She's 11.
Yeah.
You call her 11. I don't care. I don't care about Enola Holmes.
Right.
When I watch Enola Holmes, I go, hey, it's 11.
Yeah.
And that's what you do.
It's Stranger Things meets Sherlock Holmes.
Exactly.
Is that even what that's about?
I think she might be like Sherlock Holmes's little sister.
Okay. I've never seen. So
and then like Superman is Sherlock Holmes. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
Okay.
So Superman is Sherlock Holmes and 11 is Sherlock Holmes' sister. And there's two now. So.
11 is Superman's sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that would actually be a better movie.
That's kind of cool.
I would like that movie better. That if there was like Superman, 11 was Superman's little sister.
Yeah.
And just fucking shit up.
I mean, they both have the powers.
They do.
So.
They do. I love when 11 goes hard on those powers.
Me too.
There's something about it.
Well, anyway, I mean, Violent Night, a violent, action-packed Christmas movie.
Yes.
Not your typical feel-good, heartwarming, Hallmark piece of shit.
Not your typical Hallmark piece of shit.
Yeah.
Truly.
This was great. I mean, I think I kept my expectations low on purpose.
Right.
I had a feeling like this movie might just go totally off the cuff with it. So, I mean, what are you thinking about it?
Well,
by the way, sorry, spoilers.
Yeah.
Ahead.
Spoilers for sure.
Yeah.
And just for the sake of it, just being movie people, let's see who directed this.
Oh, yeah, good.
Should we?
I could have sworn that maybe the producers or somebody was from that John Wick world. Maybe?
Probably.
Would make sense.
That's becoming, that's becoming the new thing, which is, wow, the person who directed this has not directed much, but he did direct that Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters with, I believe, Jeremy Renner. Do you remember that?
I have not seen it, but Matt says it's actually a pretty good movie.
Well, okay, really?
Yeah, I think he said that one, but I haven't seen it.
I'm open to it.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen this, I'm open to it.
Okay.
Well, you bring up a really good point. Mm-hmm. I'm sure the producer realm is in the John Wick world, which maybe. Also gave us Nobody with Bob Odenkirk.
Right.
Did you watch that?
And I haven't, but I keep wanting to see it.
I'm wondering two things. Or maybe it's not that I'm wondering two things. I guess I'm wondering one thing in particular is that, well, yes, two things. The first thing is that, is it the new move when you get a little older in Hollywood to revive yourself with kind of like an action, like an older man action movie?
Yeah.
Or the other thing I'm wondering is there no new action stars to the point where all they have are older, gruff men like Bob Odenkirk, who's traditionally not an older, gruff action man.
Yeah.
But in Stranger Things and Keanu, like, I don't know. What do you think? There's something happening here, right?
Yeah, I would say it probably started way before this, but I got introduced to it with Liam Neeson.
Of course.
The older dad.
Right.
Kick-ass, smart. Can't say much for the other two movies. They're definitely not as good as the first one.
Right.
But that's probably the first time I was introduced to that category.
Right.
Older dad type or older gentleman reviving themselves through action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it works because it's exciting to see someone who looks like they shouldn't be good at combat.
Yes.
Just beat the shit out of everybody.
For sure.
So Bob Odenkirk, people know him as kind of the slimy lawyer from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Right.
You don't typically think of him as someone who could Keanu Reeves a situation.
Sure.
And then you got Liam Neeson. He's a retired guy and he's a little older. You don't think that he could break some necks.
No.
Santa Claus. Nobody's ever going to think of Santa as this badass warrior.
Yeah.
According to the movie, former Viking warrior.
Right.
So, yeah, I think it works because of that. It's kind of the same thing with Walter White.
Yeah.
He's a high school chemistry teacher who's nerdy and wears glasses, doesn't look like he could throw a punch, and then ends up being one of the most badass drug lords of all time.
Absolutely.
So it works. And I think these people also did a movie that I have not seen either with Charlize.
Is that Atomic Blonde?
Atomic Blonde. Yeah,
Bruh.
that's it. Haven't seen it. But she's not older, though. That's different. She's not older.
She's not older, but she's not younger. And I don't mean that as like a literal misogynistic Hollywood like point of view.
A Hillary Duff deal.
Yeah, like I'm not like as like she's not, I don't know. You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm not saying that.
Right.
What I'm saying is no, and she doesn't fit into that category either. That'd be like if Sigourney Weaver, didn't we say that?
We did, yeah.
That she would be great as Mrs. Claus.
Yes.
That'd be more, it's weird because I also brought up Charlize Theron.
Okay. Oh,
Anyways,
yeah, you did. You did. Yeah. Well,
Weird.
Wild.
Sorry, off track.
Worlds
Anyways.
overlapping here.
Yeah, worlds overlapping. Yeah, it would be more of an example would be like Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
But Charlize Theron still not being, I guess, I don't know who are the Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah. Like if she did an action movie, you're like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anna Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, she's not that,
Right.
but she's also not Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah. Or like Helen Mirren. Can you imagine? That'd be so cool, actually. I would see like a Taken style movie where Helen Mirren is at the helm.
Do we need to? I think that's the next. Come on.
Yeah.
That's the next rendition. Mm-hmm. Because I think what I'm thinking about this is like, this is a climactic moment of that style of movie where it's gone into the realm of the absurd, which is Santa fucking Claus, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's just like, it's gone from like some reasonable, like, okay, ex-military dad, you know, ex-CIA dad. And now it's just gone full-blown mythological creature who has the skills of like the Mossad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's interesting. So yeah, the next step, this is a Redband podcast. I'm trying to think of a good word, like fortune telling or divination.
A Nostradamus.
This is a Redband Nostradamus divination future telling moment. The next rendition of this type of film is Helen Mirren or someone of her stature doing this type of stuff.
Yeah.
There it is.
And I will be there to see it.
I will too.
Absolutely. That would 100%. Be sick. So, I mean, I guess anyone who hasn't seen this movie, or if you have, or you don't know what this movie's about, basically Santa Claus saves the night. This family is having Christmas at their really snooty, uppity, rich mom's house.
Right.
And the sister is a piece of shit, and her son's a piece of shit, and her boyfriend's a piece of shit, and everyone's a piece of shit.
Everyone's
in this movie,
a real piece of shit,
except for kind of the main character. The daughter is like not a piece of shit. She's perfectly
the main
fine.
Not piece of shit.
Yeah, she has not been corrupted by this family's jewels yet.
Right.
And when I say jewels, I mean they are rich out the ass.
Out the asshole.
And so they go to spend Christmas there. It's Christmas Eve, and this I don't know group of bad guys.
This group of John Leguizamo.
Yes, yeah. You know the guy who plays the sloth in Ice Age?
Yeah.
That guy. he comes with like his posse and they infiltrate the house disguised as caterers and I don't know, people like that. And then they hold the family hostage until they get the money. And so Santa, who's out doing his deliveries and such, happens upon this house during that time when they're there.
Yeah.
And he saves the day. And he beats the living fuck out of everybody.
And he really doesn't. I mean, a number.
Yeah.
I mean, 300 like comes to mind.
Yeah.
Movies of that nature.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Saving Private Ryan? I don't know, like to the level of just sheer brutality.
Yeah.
Those are some examples that come to my head.
I've never seen 300, but Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
300's probably because of the way he does it. It's just like full warrior.
Yeah.
I mean, he has mythologically speaking, before he became Santa, like you said, he was a Viking warrior who had his trusty hammer, which he called Skull Crusher.
Yeah.
If that gives you any idea of the realm of violence.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Skull Crusher.
Yeah.
So, you know, what I felt from this movie is there's nothing that could pull a violent man's heartstrings like a little light-skinned girl.
Yeah.
Just really turn this, you know, this man in the beginning, he's jaded.
He's getting plastered.
Yeah.
At a bar in England or something. Somewhere.
He hates Christmas now.
And he's about to call it quits. He says, I think this will be my last year.
Right.
Because the magic's kind of gone. Nobody really cares anymore.
Nobody cares.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And throughout the course of this movie, this little light-skinned girl shows him what it's all about.
She does. I don't think they got too much into what that family was about, right? Or how they got their money, right?
No. And maybe, I don't know. If they did mention it briefly, it wasn't enough to capture anything. Yeah. Which I think if we're going to get into slight issues, I think they could have expanded more on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Such as their family dynamic.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see more about his past.
Yeah, I'm a little indifferent. I mean, I think we could have seen more about his past.
Sure.
But I also think had we seen too much of it, it would have been like, all right, we don't need too much of his past. Let's get to Santa whooping some claws.
And you're right. It takes away from what we came for.
Yeah.
Which was Santa Claus fucking people up.
Yeah.
So
and that he did. I loved some of the creative ways that he killed people.
Yes.
Which is partially why I think this might be the people who did John Wick. I'll look it up. But
yeah.
I mean, some of the kills we're going to give away. So.
Oh, yeah.
But the star to the eye, the Christmas tree star to the eye.
Yes.
That he then plugged into an outlet and exploded and lit that guy's face on fire.
That's a good start.
That's a great start.
That's a good start. Yes. And it's funny because I was trying to remember how exactly that guy's face got fucked up like that. And so he does stabs the guy in the freaking eye with the star of a Christmas tree and plugs it in.
Yeah.
And it fucking electrocutes him, lights his face on fire. And if there is ever a Christmas kill, I believe that would be it.
Nothing says Christmas like a Yuletide star to the eye.
Absolutely.
And I did just look it up. Yeah, one of the producers, Atomic Blonde, Fast and the Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, John Wick, Deadpool 2, Bullet Train, Nobody. So yeah, that guy
all
clearly in on it. Same with this guy, producer of Nope, Black Panther, Captain America: Winter Soldier, one of my all-time favorite MCU movies.
Yes.
So these people know action.
Yes.
Safe to say. So yeah, we get a little inkling that Santa's been around. He said he was married to Mrs. Claus for like over 1,000 years.
He mentioned in the thousands,
something like that. So he's been Santa for quite some time.
Right.
And what we do see is a glimpse of him standing over like a destroyed on fire village wearing like a helmet, a Viking helmet, a Celtic helmet. I don't want to get that wrong.
I was getting Celtic vibes, and that might line up with the mythology of Santa, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. And then, as he talked about Skull Crusher. And so we see that he has a past, definitely. Now, I'll just say this right now. After seeing this, I think there's definitely room for sequels.
Yes.
And I wouldn't be mad about it.
I wouldn't, because I would like to see Santa become this kind of half give presents, half, vigilante.
Yeah.
That could be really fun.
I think almost it could have elements of the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, but way more violent.
Right.
So what they kept hinting at or touching on in this movie is Mrs. Claus.
Yeah.
And it seemed like maybe there might have been a little trouble in paradise.
Yes.
With him and Mrs. Claus. One of the things that he says in the movie is like he just wants to get back and see her.
Yeah.
And so I want to know what happened there. I think they can expand on that in a future movie. And then I think we can see Mrs. Claus dishing it out.
Right.
I'm wondering if maybe, Santa gets kidnapped or captured or held hostage in the next movie. And we got to see Mrs. Claus come out of retirement.
Either certain plot points are entirely too predictable, or me and you were just thinking the same thoughts, actually connected just now.
Yeah.
So that you either just watch something psychic take place, or when you go to write a movie, it's actually not as hard as you might think, because you just got to do that.
Yeah. Like you said, the storylines are just too predictable.
Which is not bad. Well, that's what we like. As human beings, we want to watch different versions of the same story. You might not think it. You might think that you're sick of the same shit, but if you look at any movie, you're actually watching the same shit over and over and over and over again, just in different ways. Some people are better at doing it than others.
Hamlet? How many times have we seen that?
I mean,
in different variations.
You got Avatar coming out again. What is it? Pocahontas? That's pretty much Pocahontas.
Is it?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
I mean, hey. So anyway.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think a sequel, that could be a cool sequel.
I think that's the way to go. I think cameo from Little Light Skin Girl. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think that would be the way to go. I think, let's say Santa's barking up Santa barks up the wrong tree.
Yeah.
Or like Santa, like he's like trying to deliver presents in the Ukraine.
Yeah.
And the Russian soldiers like capture him.
Kind of a little Iron Man, Tony Stark situation.
Absolutely. I love that. And I love Mrs. Claus. She comes in and she takes care of business.
Yeah.
I like to think that maybe rather than, Santa's a brute masher, he's got Skull Crusher, but like Mrs. Claus, I fancy her, quite the swordswoman.
Yeah.
Potentially.
That would be cool.
Like
just ninja like stars.
Yes. Oh.
Dual blades.
Oh, come on.
She could be sick with the Kimbo stick. Is that what it's called?
Oh, yeah. Kimbo slice?
Kendo stick. Wait, I don't know. Kempo?
Maybe?
A tuna makembo? Or what?
A tuna
Hakuna Matata. She could be sick with a damn staff.
A staff. Come on.
Yeah.
So not many staffs, by the way.
No.
In things, there needs to be more staffs.
Did
you ever play Soul Calibur?
What's that?
Soul Calibur. You ever play Soul Calibur?
No.
Fighting game.
Okay.
With weapons. There's a guy with a staff.
Ooh.
Fucking badass.
Last time I think I saw a staff in a movie was Rogue One. The blind guy who kept saying, "I'm one with the Force is with me."
Yes.
And he was sick with it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Underrated movie.
It is. I should see it again. But yeah.
I should too. I just got rid of my Disney Plus.
Ooh.
It was nothing again. This is what side way off track here. I was trying to upgrade to Hulu Live.
Yeah.
And I couldn't because I had the Disney, Hulu, fucking ESPN bundle. And I said, hey, maybe you guys should make it a little easier for me. I'm trying to give you more money.
Yeah, right?
I'm trying to give you more money. I wanted Hulu Live.
Okay.
But because I had it bundled, I had to go through the Disney website and blah, 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 blah. And I said, guess what? Now you get nothing.
Yeah.
Now you get nothing.
Thanks, Bob Chapek.
Yeah.
Former CEO of Disney. See your ass.
Oh, God.
So glad he got fired.
Yeah, he's done.
Iger's coming back. He's got some work to do.
He's got some things to clean up.
It's absolutely too many things to fix.
The next project is, by the way, Warner Brothers and HBO Max. I mean, Warner Brothers, DC is getting handled by James Gunn, of course, but HBO Max, they're starting to, they're tanking heavily.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're taking off Westworld and other original HBO Max programming.
Yeah.
Those are HBO shows. Why would you? Anyways, sorry.
Anyway,
this is what happens.
It's that easy to detract.
Let's bring it back in.
Reel it in. The movie.
The movie.
I just had another idea for a sequel.
Bring it.
What if, these people basically hijack Christmas.
Ooh.
And so if we want to go like a beat sheet, like an Iron Man 1 beat sheet.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, they hijack Christmas.
Okay.
They get Santa.
Okay.
And they keep him captive. And Santa completely misses Christmas. One whole year. For that year, he completely misses Christmas. No presents get delivered.
Oh my
nothing.
God. Yeah.
So then the darkness of the soul, magic is lost. People stop believing everywhere. Worldwide, it's an outage.
Yep.
And then so he finally gets, Mrs. Claus comes, saves him. They break out. And now it's like, we're going to go back, kill these sacks of shit, and save Christmas and get people to believe again.
And we're talking like a worldwide rampage.
Oh, yeah, because he missed it. He missed all of it. He was held captive. He couldn't do anything about it. He missed the entire day.
Yep. Brilliant.
I would see that.
The worst part about this is there's two things that suck about this. Potentially, it's never going to get made because no one in that studio is going to see this. Right. Or someone in that studio is going to see this and completely steal your idea because it's amazing.
Yeah.
What do we do? Dude. There's no time because there's probably, by the time we sit down and write the sequel will be made.
It'll be out.
And that's what's annoying.
Because the person who wrote this probably already at this point has started writing something else for it.
But ours is better. Yours is better. I'm trying to latch on to your idea.
No, please come with me because you'll bring the comedy.
Right.
I know the people to do the action.
Yes.
Together we'll make this cohesive unit.
Yeah.
You're telling me, man, again, I'm going on a rant here, but it is still all within the Christmas season.
Yeah, let's do it.
We watched the other night a really bad Christmas movie. What was it called? On purpose, though. We were like, let's go to Hulu, find one of those really shitty looking movies. And it was called, I think, Girlfriends of Christmas Past or something like that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. You ready for this one? Get a load of this.
I'm ready.
Okay, get a load of this. So this woman gets broken up with on Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And she thought the guy was going to propose.
Sure.
So she gets broken up with in front of her entire family. And then not that long later, she sees him with another woman. This prompts her to think he must have been cheating on me. And then her friend who is in the same business with her, tells her about this site. And he says, go on there. It's called ratemyex.com and write a review about this guy.
Oh my fuck.
So she does. And then she decides to reach out to the other two who have rated him on the website. And they decide to all meet up. And she basically convinces them to just sabotage his life, essentially, and like warn the other woman that he's with, like, hey, this guy is a piece of shit. He's a dick. You need to stay away from him. He's trouble. And also just sabotage his life. But the movie is so bad. There's so many things wrong with it.
Yeah.
The characters are unlikable. Like the best actor, I think, is probably the guy who becomes the main character's new love interest.
Okay.
Dude, there's shit like I saw the shadow of a boom arm, like following them in the scene as they came into frame. Yep. There. I mean, and like all of this is to say, me and Matt, my friend, we just turned to each other and we're like, how are we sitting here on this couch watching this?
Yep.
When there's people that got paid and made money to put that shit on Hulu.
I mean,
what?
And paid a pretty penny.
Paid any penny for that. It's like
a shilling.
A shilling, yeah. 3/4 portion.
Oh.
To make Girlfriends of Christmas Past. I am like befuddled. We're just, oh, you know?
I hate, and it's just, you know, the other day, you know, hey, there's some stuff going around. People are getting sick.
Yeah.
Ashley needed to hit the urgent care.
Okay.
I'm saying, first of all, hey, it's Sunday. There's a TV in the lobby. Maybe they'll be playing some football. Wrong.
No.
They got it on the 25 Days of Christmas. Guess what's on?
What is it?
Some fucking Larry the Cable Guy Christmas movie.
Wait, is it Jingle All the Way too?
Was it that? It might have been that. I forgot that with Larry the fucking Cable Guy.
Yeah.
It probably was that. I'm having a fucking revelation.
That's the only Larry the Cable Guy Christmas movie I know about.
It was Jingle All the Way too.
Yeah.
God bless Brian Levant for not overturning the world. One might say if one was gone, turning in their grave. Well, he's alive and well.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised he didn't overturn a few tables inside a few studios for putting that shit.
Well, I mean, if you remember last year when we had him on the show, he said he wasn't even talked to about a sequel.
He wasn't even consulted.
No. The guy who directed the first one that is now a Christmas classic, by the way.
Yes.
Nobody even reached out to him about a sequel.
Nothing.
And they put fucking Mater from Cars as the star.
They went from Arnie Schwarzenegger. That last part, I said, hey, I don't know if you're allowed to say that. Arnie Schwartzy to Larry the Cabby.
Yep. Yeah. And
it was that then. It really was.
It
And
had
I
to have
didn't I was none the wiser.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I actually Googled Larry the Cable Guy Christmas movie and it was some terrible like comedy special he did for Christmas. Anyways.
It's like this shit can get made. So why, this is more for me.
Yeah.
This is more my self-talk. Why are you not getting up and going to do it?
Right.
Go do it already. Stop making excuses because these people made this pile of junk. There's tons of piles of junk. If you scroll through the Hulu holiday section,
oh God,
it is unreal. And
it's
they're all
junkyard.
by Mar Vista, which I think we've talked about them before. They're all Mar Vista.
Right.
You see that Mar Vista logo pop up, it's going to be a sack of horse shit.
Yep.
But it gets made. People throw money at this stuff. And I'm like, hey, throw me a little money.
Yeah.
I've done a lot with very little. Imagine what I could do with a lot more money.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You've done things with actual shillings.
With literal scrap metal.
You've made actually some amazing content with 3/4 portion.
Collecting soda cans and taking them to the recycling place for 75 cents.
And it's so sad when actual amazing artists are fighting with studios to make a movie 2.5 hours, 3 hours if need be.
Yeah.
These are people who are putting their fucking souls in they're putting their badussies. Have you heard that phrase?
No, I haven't.
There's a lot of badussy.
Badussy?
People who are putting their badussies. Like if you were putting your badussy into something,
Yeah.
I'd say you were putting your Estevan Ussy into it. Okay?
I mean, is that a good thing? Is that good for me?
I think so.
I mean, all right.
It's another Gen Z. It's like Ong and what's the other one? Peak.
Oh, Peak. Yeah,
it's like Peak.
We're gonna have to have your brother back to.
Yeah, we're gonna get Santana Part 2
to talk about Ussy or whatever.
Yeah, man, he'll know about the Badussy.
Badussy. Yeah. I'm gonna laugh when that's not even what it's called.
I know.
It's gonna be a word here from now on. Badussy.
The Badussy. Bro. You know, people are fighting to put their Badussi into a movie.
Yeah.
And just put their heart and soul, except for James Cameron.
Yep.
He's basically telling you to shut the fuck up and sit down for 3 hours.
Yeah.
And did you hear what he said about Avatar and about bathroom breaks?
I did. Yeah.
Isn't
I loved
that wonderful?
He said, go to the bathroom whenever you want, and you'll see that part when you come back to see it.
He fucking
Something
looked
like
you
that.
straight in the eye. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said, you're going to see it again.
Yeah. So
He
it's
said,
okay.
you're going to see it again. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Piss wherever, whenever, however you want. Piss 10 times.
Do you think Kate Winslet held her breath underwater for a new world record for you to miss this movie?
It's weird that you say that because I literally just read that thing on social media about that. That's crazy.
I think the previous record was Tom Cruise.
Wow.
There's one. If you want to, she could be Mrs. Claus,
Yeah.
kicking ass. I would see Kate Winslet in that
Kate
role.
Winslet would be perfect.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Damn. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. A national treasure.
So when you got these bad Christmas movies and you got people who are making beautiful movies who are trying not to get things cut
Yeah.
from the cutting room floor, when Hallmark gets to just hang their dissies
Yeah. To the wind.
to the wind and just let it,
Yeah.
and no notes, because what notes do you give to a shit movie?
Right.
So
It's that the note would be, it's too good.
yeah, it's too good to be what we do. If you want to go over to Miramax with that shit.
Miramax. Yeah.
If you want to make that movie, go talk to A24.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you want to make something with substance and wit?
Yeah.
You want to make something that is cinema?
Yeah.
We don't do cinema here.
No.
No.
We just, that's what it's like over here at Hallmark.
Yeah.
We just want to snort coke and fuck butts.
Yeah.
That's what they'd say to you. They'd say, that's all we're trying to do here. There's no art happening here.
No. No art.
We're just doing all that stuff.
I mean, like we said, all those screen grabs look like they could all be from the same movie. All
Same
those
movie.
Hallmark covers, the same.
Same.
Absolute same.
Yep. It's a tragedy. And they all could be from a Target commercial.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. An Amazon Alexa commercial.
Toyotathon.
Toyotathon commercial.
Yeah.
A Dyson vacuum commercial. It's all of this. Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Same.
Yeah.
Same, but different.
But back to
So,
Violent
I
Night.
digress. Yeah, I digress.
It's hard to talk about a good Christmas movie without reflecting on a bad Christmas movie. At
And the
same time.
culture, it's the culture. I love talking about the culture. And that's part of the culture.
It is. Now, I gotta talk about one of my favorite sequences in this movie.
I already hope I know. I think I know where you're going.
Do you think so?
I think
Let's
so.
see. It's the sequence that calls upon one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies.
Yep.
Pays homage to it.
Homage.
The Home Alone scene.
Amazing.
Oh my God. That was great. That was when the switch flipped for me. Like I was on board, I was riding the ride, and then that sequence came and I said, all right, you guys did it.
I agree 110%. Before that, I would have been okay with what I was seeing.
Yep.
But you're right. That's when it really flipped the script. That's when it said, okay, this may be a holiday classic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It truly was.
And it's something that you'll have to just go see for yourself. It's like, yeah, this episode is spoilers, but I don't even want to give that away too much.
Right.
I'll just say that what they did was beautiful. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just like, oh, they did the Home Alone thing. Like, I love that the way they set up the different traps. And I think you said this. You're like, oh, you watch it and you're like, yeah, of course, you're just like the bad guys in the movie.
Yes.
The little girl, the main character, the little girl, she's hiding in the attic. And to protect herself in case any of the bad guys go up there and see her, she booby traps the whole place,
Right.
the whole area, like Kevin in Home Alone.
Which is almost, there's something about that almost makes this movie bad, which is the only way you know she watched Home Alone is a throwaway line in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
She just randomly, for no reason on God's green earth, says that she watched Home Alone the night before.
Yeah. And she does the She says like 2 lines from it. One of them's where he touches his face with the aftershave and screams, and she screams really loud in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was almost bad. I was almost like, well, why are they doing this?
But it's the setup and then the payoff so worth it.
It payoffs.
Yeah. And the bad guys look at her setup and they're like, that's cute.
Right.
That's not going to do anything. And then from there, it's just, boy, were they wrong.
It's a real jaw on the floor scene.
Yeah.
Where you can't even believe what you're watching.
Yeah, exactly. It's a real nail through the jaw.
It's a real nail through the jaw spoiler.
We'll say that. The rest, you got to just go see it or look up that scene on YouTube whenever it's out, because it was great.
It's spectacular.
Absolutely spectacular.
This is what it made me think about, and I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Every movie that's worth its salt, is that the phrase?
Worth its...
Every movie worth its nut.
Well, I feel like that is a saying, worth its salt, but I also know that there's like worth its weight in gold. Maybe that's...
Every movie that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
Has to have that scene. Mm-hmm. You know what it is.
That light switch scene, that light bulb scene.
For any movie you watch, there has to be it's a scene that's I've actually thought about this. Mm-hmm. It's not in the trailers.
Yeah.
That's a huge piece of what that scene has to be. It's almost like that's the scene you go for, because sometimes you watch a movie and you're going, so much of this was in the trailer.
Yeah, especially nowadays. Seems like they give away a ton in the trailers. Unless you're like Christopher Nolan, who gives away absolutely nothing in his trailers.
The most ambiguous like trailer ever.
Yeah.
It's like literally just like fire swirling around.
Yeah. Fire and a slow-mo of Cillian Murphy just walking.
Love it, by the way.
Yeah.
There just has to be that scene. Mm-hmm. Like I watched Annihilation last night.
All right. I haven't seen that yet. No.
And there was a moment where I go, this is the scene.
Yeah.
Right? Funny enough, Alex Garland, who made Annihilation, Ex Machina, he also made the movie Men.
Oh, right.
Horror film. Trust me when I say there's a scene in that movie that's the fucking scene.
Okay.
Any movie you ever love. What's a movie you love?
I love Whiplash.
What's the scene?
The scene has to be when he's got the approval of the teacher. He's in the classroom for the first time. He's drumming. The guy's like, we got Buddy Rich here.
Right.
And he says that. And then, Miles Teller's like, okay, yeah, I fucking got this shit.
Right.
And then he stops and he's like, not quite my tempo.
Right.
And now it starts to shift. That was the scene. And that gets intense. He gets the chair thrown at his head. I would say that's the scene where it really flips.
That's the scene, right? Where like, and that's another quality of the scene, I think, is like after the scene's over, you go, oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, the character is glad that class is over and you're glad that scene is over.
Yes.
You
exhale, you go, oh, fuck.
Yep.
That just, wow.
Yeah.
And that was the scene for that.
Absolutely.
I love the idea of the scene.
You're a genius.
Thank you.
That's something, I went to film school.
Right.
And I feel like you learn a lot more from people who went to film school than film school itself. Like,
absolutely.
Because nobody talks about that really.
Right.
Nobody talks about that scene, And I mean, actually, maybe they do, but they probably don't put it in those terms. Like that made a light bulb go off in my head.
Right.
And look how quickly I identified that scene in Whiplash for me.
100%.
You should teach.
Me, it's just like, I guess, another thing that brought me to the idea of the scene was like, every time a new movie would come out and I'd see it and then maybe I'd read some stuff about it and people would always say very ambiguously like, oh, like let's think about like Kingsman.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like the church scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And you're just like, that's something that like you're getting through that experience. Like that's the scene that everyone's going to remember for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And that's just like how I feel about this movie. You know what I mean? It's like, that's it. That's that scene. And so, yeah, like just even hearing people talk about movies and like analyzing what sticks with most people when they watch a movie.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really like, as someone who desires to be a screenwriter and as a screenwriter yourself, I think it is important to know that like you have so many components when you sit down to write a movie.
Yep.
And you got to make all these things happen. But I think at the end of the day, you need to have a scene that sticks with people.
And now that the more you're talking about it and I'm thinking about it, that was kind of a really genius thing to do.
Right.
Because what you have here is an idea that is relatively new. I mean, like dark Christmas movies, I think, are newer. Like the first time I remember seeing one, I thought it was a joke, but it's a real movie. And I haven't seen it, but it's Krampus.
Right. Krampus?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember that one.
So I haven't seen it, but the first time I saw a trailer, I was like, oh, that's got to be, you know, a joke, an SNL skit or something. Right. But it's a real movie. And so I think we're turning a page now where darker Christmas movies are going to be more of a thing.
Right.
Like I said earlier, too, I think this year, Christmas, Bloody Christmas or something is a movie that's coming out. So being that it's a new category of Christmas movie, I think in order for people to find a way to connect to it, because new things are often shoved to the side or like, that's not Christmas. I don't know. That was too much, like the older crowd, too much blood for Christmas. I don't know.
This isn't what the holidays is about.
That's not what Jesus died for.
Right.
So I think you have to give them something to connect with. And by doing the Home Alone sequence, they can go, oh, that's from one of my all-time favorite Christmas movies. Or, oh, they're doing, okay, let me see. So I think that was smart.
Especially as adults.
Yeah, right.
Because we get that. Mm-hmm. We go, oh, we know, oh. And then what do you do almost in like your subconscious mind? You watch something like Home Alone.
Yeah.
And there's that part of you that goes, what if this was a lot more fucked up?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Like, what if this wasn't so childish? Because, I mean, look, Home Alone's great. There are some things, obviously, we're like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work. Or, you know what I mean? So, like, or I think a lot of people have probably been like, damn, what if this fucking kid from Home Alone really murdered these guys? Right. And he does some shit to them. I mean, dude, a hot iron to the face.
Yeah.
Lighting someone's head on fire. I mean, you know, what if we just took that idea and went darker with it? And that's kind of Violent Night, really. And
almost now that you're saying that like reminds me that it is almost kind of dark, but it's all about context. It's like that episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they play out their fucked up life, but they put a laugh track over it and it makes it like funny, and they watch it. It's like, okay, I guess really what it is like Mac and Charlie's mom live together, and it's like really dark because like they're like, you know, Charlie's mom is like threatening to kill Mac's mom and, you know, poison her food and stuff, but they record it and then they put a laugh track on it.
Yeah.
And they are like, oh, this makes it funny. That's almost like the thing with Home Alone where it's like, yeah, like you put the music on it and the sounds of, you know, almost the cartoon sounds like whoop and whoop. And,
yeah, right.
You know,
weep, 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 weep.
Yeah. And that makes it fun. But it's like almost like, yeah, like this kid's fucking these dudes up. And
yeah,
like,
right.
You know, yeah, what if you, well, and that's what this movie does though, where it does put all those same elements, but it's undoubtful gore.
Yeah,
like, you can't.
No holding back.
No holds bar.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really do think like that's a home run. That's a home run.
Yeah, and I think also that's too, like I was thinking before this movie, I kind of hope they go that, what some would call overboard.
Right.
I kind of hope they just go all in, because if they only went halfway in, it's kind of just like, you might as well just do Home Alone.
Of course.
Which it's been done.
Of course.
So you got to go all in and just go nuts with it.
Yes.
Because that's what this movie has to be, I think, to make it. And they did. I mean, you talk about that scene. I think there's quite a few of them.
Yes.
That we could be ambiguous about. You can say the Home Alone sequence.
Yeah.
You can say the shed sequence.
The shed sequence.
And you can say the chimney scene. And that's the same as saying, oh, the church scene in Kingsman.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they had multiple,
Yeah.
Like they had multiple moments that make you go like, yeah, that's staying with me because of how great it is, and also like it's so utterly disturbing.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I was just thinking about the chimney scene right when you said that.
You can't not think of it once you've seen it.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That is definitely the point where you go like, yeah, there's another, because there's a lot of stuff. Okay. Icicle through the torso.
Yep.
Okay. Sure. Fucked up, but I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
We've seen sharp icicles through the torso, through the neck and the eye, whatever.
Even the star in the eye.
Yeah.
Amazing. Unique to the movie.
Yep.
But nothing I've never seen before.
Yeah.
In terms of gore. Even the Home Alone sequence, super fucked up.
Yeah.
Right. Gnarly, brutal. The shed, fucking amazing. Brutal. But the chimney, that's where you start getting into some territory like Saw. You know, like it was like Saw territory, like of brutal gore. Like
just like, damn.
It happened so fast.
They really did save the most brutal for last.
They did.
Absolutely.
And I guess they utilized a little bit of magic, a little bit of Christmas magic.
A little bit of, yeah.
Which they kept talking about.
They kept talking about, and I know somebody said this of the group that we're with. Maybe it was Keelan. Either Keelan or Matt, but they said, I like that they didn't really go into the magic.
Sure.
This is how it works. And it all started from a spark, how they do like the flashback stories and whatever. And I like that too. I like that, Santa is just kind of like, I don't know how it works. Like throughout the entire movie, he just keeps saying, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how it works. It just works. And
yes,
that's great because we don't need to know how it works. And I think also from a writing standpoint, it gives you quite the opening to go anywhere you want with it. Like, oh, I can do this too.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like this cheat code you didn't really know existed.
Yeah.
And it's not really even a cheat code.
Yeah.
It's actually better writing. than,
Yeah.
And that does bring me to something I was thinking about last night when I was watching Annihilation, because you should watch it sometime. It's really good. And it's like, there's an extraterrestrial component, but I was like, the tides are changing in a lot of different ways for a lot of different like motifs that these movies use. I don't even know if motif is the right word, but
sounds right.
It's like you said, like in this sense, Santa doesn't even know how it works.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know how the magic works. Like in Annihilation last night, they keep saying, I don't know why the alien's here. I don't know what it did. I don't know what it wanted. The whole movie is ambiguous to anything about the extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
It's a non-traditional extraterrestrial intelligence.
Yeah.
They don't know why it's here. They don't know what it does. They don't even know if the extraterrestrial knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
And they never answer the question.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the tide is changing. It's not, at least in the alien ET world, it's not little green men. Rather, it's something totally super ambiguous that you couldn't even comprehend. And it's not really even explainable.
Here's a couple things about that too. One, I think anymore nowadays, not knowing something is far more relatable. Like, especially with, our generation and the generations coming up, we're just like, we don't know what we're doing.
Right.
We don't know, but taxes? I don't know.
Taxes?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Right? Like, I don't know how that works.
Right.
Wi-Fi? I don't know how that works.
Beyond me.
So, I think not knowing is okay. I think everything that came before, it was like, there has to be a reason. We have to explain it. It has to. The other thing that I think about that is that I think it lends itself better to less disappointment.
Right.
I could be wrong. People might have other opinions about that, but it's almost like showing the monster.
Right.
People have this idea of the monster, of what it looks like, what's hiding in the dark. And then when you show it, it's either on par with what they were thinking, or it's like, oh, that's what they did with that. That's not so scary.
Right.
So I think it's the same thing. If you don't explain how the magic works, they can have their own thoughts. Oh, what if it's this? What if it's that? Whereas if he just comes forth and goes like, oh yeah, I, was sprinkled some dust
Right.
from a fairy, then they're like, that's how you got okay. That's lame.
Yeah, let me spend 5 minutes sitting you down, little light-skinned girl, and explaining to you while I'm really explaining to the audience what this is, because I don't believe that the audience has the ability to make an informed decision for themselves, or a creative imagination enough to decide for themselves what it could be.
It's always over a hot beverage too, isn't it? Those scenes in movies, they're always like, I'll explain to you how it works. Smash cut, a slow push-in of whatever building they're in, right? And then you cut and it's someone pouring tea or coffee into a mug, and then they take the tray over and then they're sitting down. Every time.
Let me explain now that I have my tea. It's funny because that idea too was brought up again for me on Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
I guess they have all the rights to like the Paranormal Activity verse.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they came out with a new one, and it's like a Paramount Plus original Paranormal Activity fucking movie.
There's a new one?
There's a new one, dude.
Wow.
I know. Trust me. And me being a Paranormal Activity fan, I had to watch it.
Yeah.
And I was reminded that the magic of the first Paranormal Activity is that you never see the thing.
Yep.
You never see the thing.
It's this invisible force.
Completely.
Which makes it terrifying because you don't know where it will be next.
The entire time.
Yeah, you don't know what it's capable of.
Right.
If some like old lady came forth with a tea kettle and said, let me tell you how this thing works and what it looks like and who it used to be. All right.
And the magic got lost through every Paranormal Activity movie. The more they wanted to reveal what it was, how it worked, give it some sort of form or shape.
Yeah.
Rather than just a completely ambiguous nothingness. Because nothing is more terrifying than something.
100%.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right.
It is. That's the unknown. What do we fear most? The unknown.
The unknown, baby. What's the most terrifying thing about space?
Unknown.
The space in between all the things.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know about space.
The vast darkness. No shape, no form. Dark.
Seemingly no end.
Seemingly. How horrific.
Yeah.
So anyways.
I
love that the magic of the movie can take us there.
That tells you something.
That just goes to show how we do things. That's how we do it the Redband way.
Exactly.
It's just true though, man. I mean, this is something you are supposed to learn about in the film schools and in the screenwriting schools. And I forget it's not subtext, or is it? Or is it something else?
Maybe.
Just like that show don't tell.
Yeah, exactly.
The explaining things.
Exposition is
exposition.
Exposition is just explaining everything. Mouth vomit.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you don't want.
Right. Yeah, you don't want that.
And the best filmmakers know how to use that to their advantage.
Yeah, they know how to show, not tell. Exactly.
They know how to do it.
That is one thing I will say that I've always been taught. No matter what level of filmmaking it's always been do your best to show, not tell.
Show, don't tell.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Now, as far as David, our main star here, he did an amazing job.
Amazing.
I mean, when is he not? I've only seen him in two things, this and Stranger Things. But hey, 2 for 2 in my book.
2 for fucking 2.
Yeah,
I mean, he does it.
Yeah, and what I really liked about his character was that he's someone who has the skill set. But doesn't want to use it.
Yes.
And I like that about a character who has the ability to just murk everyone in the house, but is like, listen, please, I really don't want to do this today. Yeah. Don't make me, don't make me angry. He wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah. Don't push me. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
God bless.
That is it.
That's really it.
Tupac wrote that song about this movie.
About that exact scenario.
He knew ahead of time.
You're so right. I mean, it gives so much better depth You know, I mean, I'm not so familiar with the John Wick movies.
Yeah.
But I know that there is a catalyst for him to do what he does. And it's not because he wants to, I don't think. Right. It's because someone did something to him that's unforgivable.
Yes.
And he is pretty much put in a position to give you the work at that point.
He's put in a corner.
He's put in a corner.
And Santa in this movie is put in a corner back against the wall.
Right.
And it's like, you know, he has his arc, of course, too. Because at the beginning we see him, he's getting drunk. He's going to give up on Christmas. He's had it. And there's even the moment in the movie when he's going to walk away.
Yeah.
He has a chance to leave.
He does.
Knowing that this family is being held hostage inside, he has the chance to leave. But like you said, the little girl tugs on his heartstrings and he's like, I can't.
Yeah.
So
which
he goes
reminds him he's in a position of service. He's a service member.
Exactly.
In some way or another.
He's there to bring joy. And whether that means snapping some necks to bring joy to others, then that's what it means.
That's all it is.
You got to do it. Ring down the sack. The sack of Santa.
I'll say that. That's another fun thing it did, which I was excited for, which it kind of used traditional Santa lore as well. You had your reindeer.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
It was the same reindeer we all know. You know.
They're all named the same.
Blitzen and such.
There's never Rudolph, though. Like, we have a song about Rudolph. And in the movie with Tim Allen, Santa Claus, there's no Rudolph.
Right.
There was no Rudolph in this one. So I'm wondering where Rudolph is. He's got his own song.
It's almost like Rudolph is like, he's like too famous.
Yeah.
He did something so like important that he was pretty much like pardoned of his further service. Like his story is so magnificent that he probably gets to stay in the house. Honestly, he
just
became
chills.
more of a house pet than anything.
Yeah. He's more of a CEO.
Yeah.
Like he used to be the guy knocking on the doors, handing out flyers about the business. And now the business works for him.
Yes.
The money works for him now.
He was seen as like a prodigy, I believe.
Yeah.
Right. Like he was a prodigy of reindeer, and that really, he climbed the ladder, and no one was upset at him about it.
Yeah.
Although that would be a good movie.
That's true. Other than the animated Rudolph movie.
Yeah.
Right.
But just like a real, like after that happens
Yeah.
and he's like, you know, he's gotten all the glory and a few of the reindeer are like, we need to kill him.
Yeah.
You know, like we need to actually take him out.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
Which I wonder. I mean, we really don't know. Could he communicate with his reindeer?
Right.
So they left him in the movie, by the way. They they took a dump on the roof and then they flew off.
Right.
And left Santa, which is partially why he was in that house for so long. He was like, how am I going to get out of here? Plus his magic, by the way, his unexplained magic was starting to not work for him.
Yes.
And so I think they helped each other, like, get back to the magic of Christmas.
Right.
Because their belief in him helped regain his magic abilities. It strengthened them.
It helps. Yeah, because yes, that was totally it, because he wasn't able to use his chimney trick.
Yep.
Until John Leguizamo was willing to admit that he was Santa.
Yeah.
And then he died and he didn't come back to life until the dad was willing to admit too.
Yep.
So it was, I mean, there was some where it did kind of explain it in a sense, but but it didn't shove it in your face.
Yeah.
It showed, it didn't tell.
Showed, didn't tell. And so anyway, where I was going with that is the reindeer. I wonder like how much magic is there with them, you know, obviously being able to fly. But then they took off, and then, Mrs. Claus sent a little something for him to help him out. And that was his good old trusty Skull Crusher.
Skull Crusher.
And the reindeer came back at the end with it in the sleigh.
Right.
So, I mean, they know something.
They know something.
I wonder, it'd probably be too cheesy to see some reindeer doing some combat fighting and stuff. But, I mean, dude, how many reindeer are there? 9, 10?
It's like a good 10.
Something like that. A horde of reindeer charging at you with their horns. impale you, I'd be terrified.
I would love to see just like almost like some like biblical apocalyptic fight, between Santa on the sleigh, like with the reindeer and Sledgehammer and Mrs. Claus with like, I don't even know, like Skyscraper, like the sword.
Yes, Skyscraper.
And just like, like just coming to just handle business with the reindeer in tow.
Yeah.
They're eating people, like they're eating enemies, like
Damn.
stuff like that. Like Rudolph is like, he's like probably like being super like spy, and he's like an assassin.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I could see, imagine Violent Night meets Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh.
And you've got all the reindeer in armor pieces and like
Yes.
sharpened horns, and like the sleigh is just decked out, maybe with a couple of miniguns on it or something. And you got Santa like with a candy cane guitar that shoots flames out of it, or maybe even like a candy cane dart gun that shoots sharpened candy canes out of it, and Mrs. Claus with her blades of fury, and like, can you imagine?
Oh, dude.
That shit would be wild.
That would be wild.
And you say that sounds too crazy now, but I bet when this idea was pitched, they're like, nah, we can't do that. A violent Santa, it's not going to work. Nobody will ever see that. Here we are.
So that makes me wonder what the numbers are looking like so far.
Yeah, let's see how it did. It's first week in the box office. I'm curious.
Because that will definitely tell us if there's potential for a sequel. So 26 mil.
Okay.
That's good.
For a Christmas movie of this new kind of style?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good opening weekend.
I think so.
That's a great opening weekend. They're getting a sequel.
Absolutely. They're getting a sequel. They have to.
Yeah.
And I think they really did, just the way that they wrote it, leaving Mrs. Claus kind of a mystery and all that kind of, I think they really did leave it open for a sequel. They were planning.
They did
one.
it for a reason.
Here's my concern.
Yes.
Not with this movie in particular, but going forward, this is obviously successful.
Yeah.
It's going to get a sequel. It has to.
Has to better.
Nothing's set in stone, but I think it really will. So do you think, my fear is that this kind of thing will become a gimmick?
Yep.
I mean, I've never seen it, but Bad Santa.
Yep.
With Billy
Bob Thornton.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but I mean, we've seen an off the rocker kind of Santa.
Right.
Now we've seen that mixed with John Wick. Mm-hmm. So like, I'm afraid that now a ton of Christmas movies are going to come out where it's just that, where it's badass Santa, badass Mrs. Claus, or just, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Black Friday, the movie, where it's a bunch of shoppers just planning a heist or something.
That actually sounds kind of good.
I have thought about that since I was a kid. That'd be super cool. And I even have a song in mind that I want to put in any Christmas movie that I do. I want to put it in there because it would be super sick.
I love that.
But
it's that Family Guy joke where, we're heading towards still like badass Jesus with like AK-47s. It's that Family Guy joke.
I was thinking of the exact one.
It's really what it is.
Yeah.
It's really where we're headed.
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope that they don't beat this genre to death.
Yeah.
Now, because I feel like they will. That's what Hollywood does. That's what they do. They find something. They're like TikTokers. They find a trend. They beat it to death. They move on. And I think that's what we're going to be getting, a lot of darker, edgier things, right? Like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
That just became not royalty free. What's the word?
Public domain.
Public domain. Thank you. So they're immediately they jumped on that. We have a horror Winnie the Pooh coming out. Is it out?
I don't know.
Or has it not come out yet?
Let's have a look-see here.
I feel like I would have seen it if it came out.
I think we would have, right?
If absolutely we would have.
Oh, Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey comes out February 15th.
Oh, Valentine's.
Yeah.
The perfect Valentine movie.
That's perfect.
That's great.
God, that's going to be so good.
So yeah, we got to see that.
We got to see that.
But yeah, that's my fear, is that this is going to become just like a thing now, and they're going to beat it to death, a gimmick.
I just hope it becomes a positive gimmick.
Yeah.
I hope what happens is what I it can go two ways. It can go the way of the gimmick, like you're saying, where it just loses all fun, it loses all substance, and it just becomes something like a romantic comedy.
Yep.
The way the romantic comedy went downhill.
Yeah.
You know, you got Tom Hanks and romantic comedies at the end of the 90s, early 2000s, and then you get, you know, just the shit that came out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it can either become a gimmick or it just becomes like, you know, every older man in Hollywood who we actually like, you know, give Brendan Fraser one of these.
Hey. Yeah.
You know, give Brendan Fraser one of these, however it looks, not as Santa.
Yeah.
So it's either going to be like the gimmick that's shit or like Brendan Fraser's getting one of these, The Way of Nobody, The Way of John Wick, The Way of Violent Night.
Yeah.
And that's fun. And then like eventually, you know, I mean, who even, maybe Tom Hanks himself gets one. I don't know, right?
You know who would be great is, what's his name? Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That guy. Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick.
Give him one of those.
Give him one of those.
And here's why I know that would work.
Ooh.
He was originally offered the role of Walter White in Breaking Bad.
What?
Mm-hmm. Wow. And he turned it down.
Would have been a whole different show.
Totally different.
But would have been great.
But you can see it, right? You can see the kind of schlumpy, fallen into a routine, comfortable with life the way it is now, dad.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now he's got to turn it up.
Turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick, give him one of those.
Yeah.
That would be what you're describing would be the positive outcome of this. Matthew Broderick gets one. Brendan Fraser gets one.
Yeah.
Badass. Or it becomes like a Hallmark movie.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And that's the other direction.
And, you know, Hallmark does that the best, just beats something to death.
Yep.
They've done it for how many years?
They'll be the ones to make a PG version of this.
And that is a fear. That is a fear, is that a TV network like Hallmark will attempt to do this, but PG?
PG.
Don't even. Then it's just worse Home Alone.
I didn't even say PG-13.
Yeah, no.
I'm talking PG.
No, Hallmark doesn't know PG-13. Lifetime, maybe.
Lifetime, maybe.
Lifetime could do this PG-13. It'd still be bad, though.
Right.
It wouldn't be good. It'd be hijacked for Christmas or something, and it would just be awful.
It would be just a bad time.
Horrible.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is let your kids watch this.
Yeah, right.
Let them watch it. Just do it.
Before they grow up to see the worst iteration of this
Just
down the line.
Just let them watch it.
Just see the good one.
Just what's one rated R movie?
Yeah.
They need to know that life is real. They need to know the reality of things.
You know, my fear would be if I was a mall Santa.
Yeah.
My fear would be like the kid who comes up to try to kick me in the crotch or something after seeing this movie.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, this will become such a gimmick that they'll be asking mall Santas to like do karate.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, hey, in my photo, can you have your hands around my neck?
right. Like, screw like me telling you what my presents are. Like, I
Yeah.
want you to like pretend to like punch me while we're taking this picture.
Yeah.
That's the evolution.
That's the one.
That's the magic of Christmas.
And if you're gonna be smart, if you really want to boom your business, your mall Santa business, you will theme it like this. So that way everyone can go to their wholesome Santa if they want, but everyone will be talking about that one mall Santa, and the lines will be out the door because you will have a Violent Night themed Santa photo background and props that everyone, you know, fake swords and weapons, and you can stage it to look like an action scene, like you fought Santa.
Are we talking about adult mall Santas?
Yup.
Because did we just become millionaires?
Did I just pitch $1 million idea right
Yes.
here? Shit. And if I see that at a mall now, I'm going to be pissed. Somebody owes me money.
Somebody owes you money.
Yeah.
Do we need to just like stop this and just go into entrepreneurship?
I think so. Yeah,
We
I
might.
think so. I think we might.
We'll just make it our side gigs. We'll still give you guys what you need.
Yeah.
But we need to do something about this. We need money.
Totally.
We need lots and lots of money.
Yeah, we do.
And we can get it.
We can. I mean, we got the ideas.
We got the ideas.
We just need we need the Shark Tank people.
We need those fucking people, man.
I mean, I'm already like down next Black Friday to find this at a Best Buy for $10 and buy it and watch it every Christmas.
Absolutely.
Let's go. I'll do it.
Are you kidding me? Come on.
Yeah.
That's when you know you've got everything you just described made me feel fuzzy inside.
There we go.
That exact sequence of events.
Yeah.
That's what life is about.
That's what this whole season is about.
That's what this whole deal.
Touching on those beautiful memories that are embedded into your DNA.
Tradition.
Tradition, yes.
Tradition.
Well, hope you're staying warm out there. It's fucking freezing.
It's really cold in this room right now.
I wanted to feel like we're there, you know, in this picture right here, this snowy picture.
But it's just cold in this city. Like, there's nowhere to hide from this cold. It's everywhere.
I considered like just throwing a blanket on me because it is cold. And I would turn on the heater, but the problem is my camera overheats. Yes. So I was like, this is perfect for the camera.
No, we're sacrificing.
Yeah.
No, and this is what we will do for you.
For you.
For you.
Damn it. If I don't love you all.
Damn you.
But I mean, thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe. And right now, don't go away just yet because we have that full song.
Yes.
I think it's just called Christmas Jam.
Yeah.
By our friend Jacob.
Yeah.
We went to high school with him.
Shout out.
His artist name is Deadbird.
Yep.
Look him up on Instagram. I hate Deadbird. And this is his song Christmas Jam, which I thought, was the perfect way to cap off talking about Violent Night. His song kind of gives me vibes of, if you ever heard the song The 12 Pains of Christmas, have you heard that? It's like the 12 Days of Christmas. It's to that tune.
Right.
But each thing is like, I don't know, having to string up the lights. One light goes out, they all go out. And I heard it as a kid. It would always make me laugh.
Right.
So this gives me vibes of that. I love it. So stay in, listen to that song, and we will see you all next week for our big celebrity guest. Super excited for that. So, Deadbird, take it away.
Every year we put up the Christmas tree, decorate the house and take a picture so the world can see our work. Every year we like to get together and we learn to love our neighbor, and I think about the beauty of this world. This year the roads froze over, our family called and canceled. I was putting up the lights and some kids pushed over the ladder. I fell and broke my neck and the doctors called in sick. I didn't get any help, I'm permanently disfigured. The Christmas tree died, the presents were too expensive. The dogs ate all the food, I've never been so devastated. Christmas is ruined, there's nothing that I can do but sit alone and drink some eggnog and maybe watch some cartoons. Every year we put up the Christmas tree, decorate the house and take a picture so the world can see our work. Every year we like to get together and we learn to love our neighbor, and I think about the beauty of this world. Every year we put up the Christmas tree, decorate the house and take a picture so the world can see our work. Every year we like to get together and we learn to love our neighbor, and I think about the beauty of this world.